a man miss, two-man miss, first down past the 30 to the 26-yard line, and all of a sudden, New York is in high gear. Back to throw. They swing it out to Heachel again, and this time plenty of Mauler defenders there to make the play. And New York needs to score as quickly as possible. They need to be looking deep. Second down, 9 after the 1-yard gain for Heachel. He's been a one-man wrecking crew, and he's going to get another pass to the outside. And Heachel just looks like a tired back here in the fourth quarter. And this was New York's problem at the beginning of the season when they were struggling just going to the Heachel well one too many times. They're going to go deep on this play, and it's picked off one-handed by Marcus Dorsett. Boy, if you don't think the Maulers are ready for the playoffs, unbelievable. Marcus Dorsett steals a touchdown away from Nathan Chambers. The temperature was 36 degrees at kickoff. FYI.
Let's go.
So first and 10 of the 14, and Marconi is still in the football game. 17-point margin. Marconi flips it outside, and that's an 8-yard completion. And that's basically like the Maulers running out the clock as Smith makes the catch. So the Knights are eliminated. It's down to a 6-team playoff race. The Maulers at 8-0 have clinched the number 1 overall seed. They will host the number 4 seed in 2 weeks. They have a bye next week. Baltimore is at 5-2 in the number 2 slot. They've clinched a playoff spot and can fall as far as number 3. The Orlando Intimidators are 4-3. They have not clinched a playoff spot, can get as high as 2, and could also be eliminated. The San Francisco Bulldogs, Oklahoma City Renegades, and Honolulu Legends, as that pass deep is knocked away and incomplete, nearly picked off again. James Cooley has been targeted 26 times. Just let that sink in. Third down, Minneapolis. San Francisco, Oklahoma City, and Honolulu are all 3-4. The Renegades host Orlando, who has not won on the road this season, and San Francisco travels to Honolulu to take on the Legends. It is going to be one hell of a Week 11 here in the SFL. Don't miss it. That's next week, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday here on the SFL Network as that pass up the middle is caught. A first and 10 of the 27. Another outstanding performance by Minneapolis. New York had their opportunities. Had a blocked field goal in the first quarter. A 15-play drive ended in no points. And it was a 4th and goal from the 1, and they elected not to go for it. They also had a couple of chances at interceptions, one which looked like it could have been a pick 6. Minneapolis went for it on 4th down and didn't get it, but they challenged, and the play was overturned in regards to whether or not it was a completed pass or not. They also challenged again in the second half and moved the chains on a challenge as they swing it outside, and the Mauler running back stays in bounds graciously. And we've hit the 2-minute warning. Let's pause 10 seconds for the last time of station identification along the Night Radio Network this season. You're listening to the home of champions. Night football is on. 1000 KDUB, the extra point. Buffalo. So second down and 7 yards to go for Minneapolis. Marconi back to pass. He's going to swing it outside again. A nice move by the running back, and the Knights will burn a timeout. Not yet willing to admit defeat here tonight. And why not? The Knights have nothing to lose at this point. They'll go to 2-5, but always play the Baltimore Crabs tough. So while the New York Knights are going to be the only team playing next week with nothing to play for, They are still playing for pride as they've lost to the Knights 3 times by 4 points or less in their history. As McDaniel's pass over the middle was incomplete, that stops the clock and the Knights are going to get the ball back. And McDaniel will end with a horrendous quarterback rating. So if you like drama, we should have 3 intense, very close calls next weekend, and a lot to get situated on Easter weekend. Next week will be the playoffs. That's the weekend of the 12th. Then the SFL Championship game is Sunday, April 19th. Mark it down, and look at this punt return by New York! Past the 40, 30, 25, and down to the 16-yard line! One of the best punt returns in league history comes in garbage time of the night season. Jim Hartwig on the return. How did the Knights let him get so far down the field? Everyone out of their lanes, and he nearly returned that for a touchdown. Only 19 carries for 57 yards for the league's second leading rusher. But they really didn't have time to run the ball tonight. 1st and 10 from the 16. New York still has 2 timeouts and onside kick possibilities. Heachul's got a lot of room to the outside, and Heachul is going to get to the 3-yard line. And New York will just not quit throwing the football to Heachul, as Heachul and Cooley are in a receptions race. I think Heachul is winning. 1:20 to go. They're going to go to a fade back of the end zone, and it's knocked away. 2nd and goal stops the clock with 1:16 to play. The closest team that came, or the closest that any team has come this year to beating Minneapolis was Orlando. They lost 55-45, which may be the score we end up with tonight. 3 receivers, St. Clair back to pass. St. Clair's going to check it down. Heachul's got a long way to go, and he's not going to get in, and they have to burn a timeout, and that's just bad play calling in the red zone. It's been bad all year for New York. 39% in the red zone scoring touchdowns. That's only 5th best in the league, and only 6 percentage points from the bottom. 3rd and goal from the 5. Boy, what would this game look like if that was a touchdown instead of a Dorsett interception, and then New York would be down here knocking on the door. Also had that missed opportunity in the 1st quarter. I mean, New York could be looking at potentially winning this ball game if things had gone their way. As that pass is... Did he catch it? He caught it in the end zone. Touchdown, Jake Legacy. How in the world did Legacy make that catch? There is a flag.
Pass interference, number 59.
The penalty is declined. That is a touchdown, New York. With 1:06 to go, and we are unfortunately not going to get a replay of that catch, but that was a stellar play made by Jake Legacy. That's his 2nd touchdown of the game. That's his 3rd overall this season. Only had 1 coming into the night. And now the Knights will onside kick. And the extra point for New York is good, and it's the same score Orlando suffered defeat by, 55-45. Onside kick coming here for New York. They only have 1 timeout, so if they don't get it, this game is over. Ended up being closer than everyone expected. Knights offensively played like a championship team as the onside kick is going to be bobbing around. It's going to be recovered by Minneapolis. Oh, man, they had a shot at that one. Boy, New York, they've just blown it tonight. This was their game. They had it. So many times tonight they had it. And a victory formation for the Maulers, who nearly Could not recover that onside kick. All the pessimists out there and the cynics who denied the Knights a right to keep this game close. You had every right to. The Maulers scored on all 9 of their all 9 of their first 9 possessions as you look at Cooley's tremendous evening. And 2 more kneel downs will do it. The Maulers will complete an undefeated season 8-0, and Thomas Paternitti for the 2nd straight year will finish a regular season undefeated. Now the question becomes whether the Maulers can get it done in the playoffs. And I don't exactly know who they're going to be facing or who they would least like to face, but I would think with playing Oklahoma City so much earlier in the season and the Renegades defense playing better football, and the Renegades also picking up a defensive piece, a second cornerback, Isaac Wallace, earlier this week, that could be a troubling matchup for the Maulers, particularly if Pete Bruschi goes crazy like he did against San Francisco, although I don't think T-Pat wants to see any Bulldog magic in the postseason either. As we count down the clock, the Maulers make it official, a perfect 8-0 season. The Knights had plenty of chances tonight and just failed to capitalize like many other teams before them have done. Dan and Peter have the post-game report. Take it away, fellas.
And that will do it for tonight's game. The Maulers come out on top, 55-45. With this one in the books, let's take a look back at some of the action. That was an exciting game. So let's not waste any time in getting to the highlights in our post-game show. Let's get started in this one early in the 3rd quarter. Number 33 found a soft spot in the defense, and it worked to his advantage. A 34-yard play that set up a home team touchdown. The Knights finally get on the board and are now down by 14. The Maulers, early in the 3rd, ball at the 49-yard line. Number 5 set up shop as they decide to go for it on 4th down, and he delivers. That set up a 33-yard field goal. Midway through the 3rd, the Knights behind by 17. Number 33 came up with a big play as he was able to pull this one in. They climb back again and are now down by 10. The Maulers, still midway through the 3rd quarter, Epstein would come on and connect on the field goal try. A 42-yard field goal. The Maulers out in front, 41-28. Number 3 went to work on 3rd down, and he was able to find his man. That set up a 38-yard field goal. The Knights climb back again and are now down by 10. Towards the end of the 3rd quarter, the Maulers on offense at the 37-yard line. Number 5 connected with his man on this one. A 26-yard play that set up a visitor's touchdown. Now early in the 4th quarter, the Knights behind by 17. Number 83 came up with a big play as he was able to pull this one in. They draw closer and are down by 10. I'm out of control. The Maulers still in the 4th. Number 5 went up top on a 3rd down play, and he was able to find his man. A 21-yard touchdown for the visitors. The Maulers out in front, 55-38. Blugins would come up with the big play to kill a drive as he was able to step in front of a wayward pass for an INT. After a red zone stop, the Knights already inside field goal range. Number 42 is reading the quarterback's eyes all the way, and he's able to get his hands on this one and picks it off. Late into the 4th quarter, The Knights trailing by 17. Number 3 would put this pass right where it needed to be, and that will do it. The Maulers come away with the win, 55-45. And here's your 2K Sports Player of the Game.
Number 5 left no doubt as to why he's one of the greats. Well, the name of the game for the quarterback is putting points on the board for his team, and he certainly was able to do that in this one. He found the end zone repeatedly, making it look easy out there, but we know it's not.
For my partner, Peter O'Keefe, this is Dan Stevens saying goodbye until next time.
So the New York Knights missed too many opportunities to upset the Minneapolis Maulers tonight, and they fall 55-45, the exact same fate as the Orlando Intimidators. The Knights actually outscored Minneapolis by 11 points in the second half, but we're down in this game 35-7. They cut the deficit to 38-28 in the third quarter, but just didn't have enough to stop Minneapolis, who continues to put up exceptional numbers. Wes St. Clair actually had a better quarterback rating tonight. Hats off to St. Clair. He really tried to keep New York in the game, as teams have struggled with. They got no pressure on Rocco Marconi, no sacks. He gets the ball out so quickly. He struggled on the ground, 19 for 57, but he ends up with 21 catches for 224 yards and a touchdown. Cooley did him one better, 23 catches, 369 yards, 2 touchdowns. Abarazzo, 19 receptions, 214 yards and 2 touchdowns. Legacy had 9 grabs for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Campbell, 7 for 55 and 1. Studwell, 5 for $115 and 1. And Donald Miller had 5 for 30 and 1. Defensively for New York, Marco Silva had 10 tackles. McCoo had 7. Jeb Gatlin had 7 as well. Billy Joe Gatlin, 6 and 4 assisted, and Kaleka had 6 tackles as well. So the New York Knights at 2-5 are eliminated. 6 teams left, 4 playoff spots. 2 teams have clinched. It's 4 teams fighting for the final 2 spots in the SFL's final week of the regular season. It kicks off next Saturday, or this Saturday, I should say, at 12 o'clock Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, as the 3-4 Oklahoma City Renegades host the 4-3 Orlando Intimidators. From all of us at Metro Stadium in Buffalo, New York, it's been a great Week 10 in the Simulation Football League. Thanks so much for supporting us, and we hope to see you back in the chat next week. I am your play-by-play commentator, Cameron Irvine, and we'll see you on the flip side. Good night, everybody.